Happy day students. Today we are going to discuss about class 9 chapter 5 natural vegetation and wildlife geography. India is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world. They are a group of countries that have the majority of earth species and therefore considered extremely biodiverse. Being a vast country, India is having 47,000 plant species, out of which 15,000 are flowering plants, that is 6% in the world. It occupies 10th position worldwide and 4th in Asia. Non-flowering plants such as ferns, algae and fungi also grow here. It also has around 90,000 species of animals and insects. Now let us see what do we mean by natural vegetation. Natural vegetation, also called the virgin vegetation, means the plant community which has grown naturally without any human intervention for a long time. The natural vegetation which are left undisturbed over a long period of time are called virgin vegetation. Virgin vegetation can again be divided into two types, which is endemic and exotic species. Endemic species are within the country and exotic species originated outside the country. This is a clear definition of what is meant by virgin vegetation. Now let us look into factors that affect biodiversity. Factors which influence the variety of flora and fauna include relief, that is the land and soil, climate, which includes temperature, photoperiod and precipitation, and the ecosystem. Now let us read about each factor in detail. Relief, it includes land and soil. Let us see how land affects the diversity. Land, it affects the natural vegetation both directly and indirectly. The nature of land, whether it is plain, hilly or a plateau, determines the kind of vegetation which will grow in it. Fertile lands are used for growing crops, vegetables and fruits. Undulating, that is which is not straight and it is wavy and rough surfaces, generally develop either into grasslands or forest areas. Different type of lands accordingly sustain and provide shelter to different kind of wildlife based upon the vegetation. Now let us see how soil affects biodiversity. The soils also vary from place to place. Different kinds of soils provide different kinds of vegetation. For example, alluvial or deltaic soil of a river delta near the sea will sustain mangrove forests, while slopes of hills have conical trees. The sandy soils of deserts sustain thorny bushes. Animals and birds also inhabit locations based on relief. For example, migratory birds like the Siberian crane and flamingos are found to nest in wetlands of the Run of Kutch, where the desert merges with the sea. Now let us move into climate, which includes temperature, photoperiod and precipitation. Let us look at temperature first. The temperature, along with humidity in the air and precipitation, determines the character of vegetation and how far it can be present. As the climate gets colder, either by increase in altitude or by going away from the equator, the vegetation will change from tropical to subtropical, temperate and then alpine. For example, on the slopes of Himalayas and the hills of Peninsula, the fall in temperature affects the type of vegetation and its growth. Photoperiod. The amount and duration of sunlight is known as photoperiod. The difference in latitude, altitude and season brings variation in duration of sunlight in different places. In warmer regions and climate, plant growth is faster due to longer duration of sunlight, especially with availability of adequate moisture. An instance is the fact that southern slopes of Himalaya are covered with thicker vegetation than the northern slopes. Precipitation. Advancing southwest monsoons, which is from June to September, and retreating northeast, that is October to November monsoons, bring almost all the rainfall in India. Areas of heavy rainfall have denser vegetation. The southwest monsoon rains on the windward side of Western Ghats thus cause a heavy growth of tropical evergreen forests, and whereas the leeward side does not get any such forests. Ecosystem. Various species of plants occur in areas having similar climatic condition. To a large extent, its nature determines the animal life in that area. All the plants and animals in an area are interdependent on each other in their physical environment and form an ecosystem. Thus, an ecosystem is a biological environment consisting of all the organisms living in a particular area, as well as all the non-living physical components of the environment with which the organisms interact. What is a biome? Biome is a major community of plants and animals having similar life form existing under similar environmental condition. A biome is identified on the basis of plant existing there. It is also termed as major life zone. Let us see how humans influence the ecosystem. Human beings influence ecosystem in the following manner. They utilize the vegetation and wildlife. The greed of human beings leads to overutilization. Human beings cut the trees and kill the animals, creating ecological imbalance. Due to activities of human beings, some of the plants and animals have reached verge of extinction. Importance of forests. Forests are advantageous for the environment. They influence climate, reduce soil erosion, regulate stream flow, provide raw materials for industries and livelihood for many. They control wind force and temperature and cause rainfall. They also provide shelter to various animal species. This is a diagrammatic representation of forests, how they help us by controlling erosion, providing us timber, providing habitat for various animals, providing food for animals as well as human beings, providing us clean air and oxygen. Types of vegetation. There are mostly 5 types of vegetation, which are tropical evergreen forest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical thorny forest, and shrubs, montane and mangrove forests. This is a map of various types of vegetation that is present in India. Let us move on to the first type of forest, tropical evergreen forest. As the name indicates, evergreen. These are the tropical rainforests. They cover about 12% of total forested area of India. They receive a rainfall which is over 200 centimeters. They are present in western slopes of Western Ghats, Lakshadweep, Andaman, upper parts of Assam, and also parts of coast of Tamil Nadu and Odisha. Characteristics are these areas are warm and wet almost throughout the year. They have abundant vegetation with tall trees. The vegetation occurs in a multi-layered structure. These appear green throughout the years as the trees shed their leaves at different times. The flora and the type of fauna that is present here are ebony, mahogany, cinchona, rubber, rosewood trees are very common here. Animals found here include rhinoceros, elephants, various species of monkey, lemur, deer, many bird varieties, bats, sloths, scorpions and snails. Tropical deciduous forests, they cover about 64% of the forested area of country and are most abundant variety of forests in India. They are also called monsoon forests and are also spread over regions receiving rainfall between 200 to 70 centimeters. They are again divided into 2 types, moist and dry deciduous. Moist deciduous forests grow in annual rainfall areas between 100 to 200 centimeters and hence these are called as moist. They are found mostly in eastern parts of countries such as the northeastern states, the west Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, foothills of Himalayas. The plants that mostly grow here are teak, bamboo, sal, shisham, sandalwood, khair, kusum, arjun and mulberry trees. Dry deciduous forests growing in annual rainfall areas between 70 to 100 centimeters are classified in this category. They occur about 30% of the country's forested area. These are found in rainier parts of peninsular plateau. The flora and fauna are teak, sal, peepal and neems grow here. Many parts of these areas have been cleared for agricultural activities and for grazing. Besides lions, tigers, elephants, pigs and deer, many varieties of birds, lizards, snakes and tortoises are also found in these forests. Tropical thorn forests and shrubs, they cover about 5% of the total forested area. They are found in northwestern parts of the country including semi-arid areas of Gujarat, Rajasthan, some areas of Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh and also some parts of Deccan Plateau. The trees found in tropical thorn forests and shrubs are scattered. Other such plants which have long roots, succulent stems and small thick leaves are also found here. All these characteristics have developed to minimize evaporation and conserve moisture. The flora and fauna are trees like acacia, palm, euphorbia and cactus. For fox, wolf, rats and mice, wild ass, lions, camels and similar animals are also found in these areas. Mountain forests. These forests cover about 17% of total forested area of India and are found in mountainous areas of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh. Natural vegetation changes with corresponding change in temperature with increasing altitude in the mountainous region. The succession of natural vegetation belts is the same as in the order of tropical and tundra region. Mangrove forests. Mangroves are trees that live along tropical coastal lines rooted in salty sediments after often underwater. The mangrove tidal forests are found in areas of coast influenced by tides. Dense mangroves are the common variety with roots of plants submerged underwater. Sundari trees are found in Ganga Brahmaputra river that provide hard timber. Royal Bengal tiger is a famous animal in these forests. Now, altitudinal distribution of montane forests. Wet temperate forests at lower altitude. Wet temperate forests with evergreen broadleaf trees such as oak and chestnuts are prominent. Temperate forests at the altitude between 1500 to 3000 meters. Temperate forests containing coniferous trees. These forests cover mostly the southern slopes of Himalayas. Temperate grasslands. These are found at higher elevation at high altitude about 3600 meters. Alpine vegetation. This vegetation through shrubs merge with alpine grasslands. These are extensively used by nomadic tribes. Tundra vegetation. Mosses and lichens are a part of Tundra vegetation. Forest and fauna that are present here are Kashmir stag, spotted deer, wild sheep, rabbit, yak, snow leopards, squirrels, and some more. The plants that are from the trees that are found here are silver, fir, pines, birches, etc. are common trees that are found here. Let us move on to wildlife. India also is rich in its fauna and as well as flora. It has approximately 90,000 animal species and 2,000 species of birds. They constitute 13% of total world stock. There are 2,546 species of fish. It also shares between 5 and 8% of world's amphibian, reptiles and mammals. India is rich in its fauna. Elephants are also found in the hotbed forests of Assam, Karnataka, Kerala. One-horned rhinoceros are found in West Bengal. Run of Kutch is inhabited by wild ass, whereas Thar Desert is inhabited by camels. The natural habitat of Indian lion is a Gir forest. Tigers are found in Madhya Pradesh, Sundarbans of West Bengal and Himalayan region. Ladakh's freezing high altitude are a home for yak, the shaggy horned wild ox, Tibetan antelope, the barrel, blue sheep, wild sheep, and the kiang. In the rivers, lakes, and coastal areas, turtle, crocodile, and gharials are found. Peacocks, pheasants, ducks, parakeets, cranes, and pigeons are some of the birds inhabiting the forests and wetlands of the country. Now, the cause of major threat to flora and fauna are every species has an important role in ecosystem. Therefore, it is a conservation of this flora and fauna is essential. About 1,300 plant species are endangered and 20 species are extinct. The main causes of this major threat to nature are hunting for commercial purpose, pollution due to chemical and industrial waste, rapidly cutting of forests for cultivation and habitation. The government has undertaken various initiatives to protect the flora and fauna. It has set up numerous biosphere reserves and also has extended assistance that has been provided to many botanical gardens by government since 1992. Project Tiger, Project Rhino, Project Great Indian Bustard, and many other eco-developmental projects have been introduced. Numerous national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and zoological gardens are set up to take care of the natural heritage. With this, we come to the end of the lesson. Read the content that is given in the textbook and practice the map. Thank you.